All right. Welcome back to the Run.down post-game show here on the Strickland YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on the day after, Strickland Podcast Network. Welcome to the Emmanuel Quickly Show. 40 points, 9 assists on 80+% shooting from the field as the Knicks absolutely wallop the Houston Rockets 137 to 115. I believe that final score doesn't even do the game or the score justice. But yeah, Manuel Quickly once again stealing the Sixth Man of the Year trophy again. I believe. Who knew he had to do it twice? But here he is. Amazing game. Had 22 points in the first half. Finished the game with 40 points on 14 of 18 from the field, 5 of 7 from three, 7 of 9 from the free throw line. Gave you a steal and a block. List of players in NBA history with 40 points and 9+ assists in a game while shooting 80% from the field. Wilt Chamberlain, Gail Goodrich, Larry Bird, Emmanuel Quickly. That is it. Special list to be on. Also, Emmanuel Quickly is the first Knicks player with 40 points, 5 assists, and 80% shooting in a game in franchise history. Quickly shot a perfect 8 of 8 in the paint as well. That is tied for the most makes in the paint without a miss by a Knicks guard over the last 25 years. It was a masterclass, to say the least. Yeah, he was amazing. And I mean, here at the Quickland, we are not surprised by this, but we are just enjoying every single minute of this. Like, special performance, and hopefully Emmanuel Quickly is going to cash out this Sixth Man of the Year bet that I put on him back in February. Make your boy some cash. How'd you guys feel about the performance?
Tell Malcolm Brogdon to hold that shit. They will talk about, oh, he had 20 points and 9 assists and 5 rebounds and 0 turnovers. Oh, Sixth Man of the Year. Then quickly comes out with a 40-piece. Tell him to hold that shit. Great game from Emmanuel Quickly. As you can see, we are at the Quickland tonight, and it is a great day. It is a great day to be a Knicks fan. It's a great day to be a fan of the team that has Emmanuel Quickly on it. I cannot say more about this game. Like, I don't want to say he looked Jalen Brunson-esque, but I feel like that does a disservice to how good Emmanuel Quickly plays. And Emmanuel Quickly does have a certain style that he plays with that's like unique to him and him alone. But some of those mid-range pull-ups he was hitting looked like Jalen Brunson. Like, the footwork was there, the touch, the ability to kind of like pump fake, shot fake, and then get into his shot. It was just fantastic play from him. I just can't say much more about him. He is a precious, precious baby boy of the New York Knicks, who we all love and adore. He is everywhere all at once. He is just whatever he wants this summer, just pay him. I don't care. Just pay him. Like, he's gonna win a lot. He's gonna win Sixth Man of the Year. Like, that's not even a conversation anymore. It should not be it should have been a conversation as the Boston game, but narratives. But I think he's like minus 140 right now. He's probably gonna hit around minus 200 out tonight. If I were a betting man, which I'm not, but
yeah, I'm not interrupting you, Tyrese, but it's up right now. It's minus 190 on DraftKings. So good call.
Yeah, he probably just won it tonight. So again, for the second time, I don't know how you win it twice in a row, like Schwartz win. But so does that mean he gets 260 million years? We'll take it anyway.
That bet is gonna cash.
Dude,
yes.
he made so much money. Imagine getting like 1500.
Here's a question for you guys. So the Knicks offer him an extension. Let's just say it's not a max. Don't you think there are people in his camp telling him not to take it, knowing that
of course,
some team next summer, if he doesn't extend with the Knicks this summer, is gonna offer him the hardened max, like just basically saying, you haven't been given a chance to start. You're 23 years old. We'll give you the max and see if the Knicks match it. Like, some team is going to offer him that in 2 seconds.
Of course. No doubt about that.
He's going to make 9 figures on the next deal. Like, get used to it, because he's going to get $25 million per, because that's how much it's going to take to keep him. And if he doesn't get that, they're going to be like, well, I'm going to take this to free agency, and the Orlando Magic will pay me. Or, like, the Houston Rockets will pay me, because like, they don't have shit else. Hell,
Yeah, as
if
we
I'm
saw
the-
tonight.
Hell, if I'm the Pacers, why not pay him? Like, I have nothing else to lose. So, like, I think if you're not a tanking team, but like if you're like a meh team and you're like, well, we need point guard play, why not just get Emmanuel quickly? Because I guarantee you, if you get quickly starting minutes, he's probably giving you like 21 and 7. Like he's averaging like 20 and 5 right now.
I was saying to Sam before you got on, Tyrese, like I almost feel like a lot of Knicks fans take for granted what Quickly's done as a starter. Like every game he starts, it's just almost a given that he's going to put up some combo of like 25 and 5. And there's this sort of weird segment of Knicks fans that are like, oh, well, of course he's going to do that. Like he's starting, he's playing big minutes, he has the ball a lot. But like if it's so easy, why don't other people do it? I don't understand. Like why does Quickly come into the starting lineup and usurp, like why does he just take these increased minutes and run with it if he's not just a really good player? Like it's clear we know what he is now. There's no more excuses.
Those people are just stupid. There's no comprehending stupid. There is none.
God, so Tyrese brought up a really good point. You guys covered how good Quickly was, so I don't need to expand. But there's one thing Tyrese touched on that I want to talk about. So my biggest concern coming into this season, if you guys remember last season, a perfect example of this is end of the season, we played the Bulls. The game Alec Burks hit the corner three to win the game, if you guys remember that game. Mm-hmm. So Quickly made that pass, the pass from to the weak side corner, where he read the dropping big man and who had to there was a guy who had to either dig on the roll or cover the corner, and Quickly read him and made that pass. And that was a pass we saw all the time because teams were just playing their standard defense. And coming into this season, my biggest concern for Quickly was teams were going to figure out that he wasn't much of a 2-point threat, and they were going to stop helping like that. They were going to stop digging, and they were going to play him straight up. And so if you go back and watch a lot of his early season possessions, he's probing and looking for to exploit a weakness or the help. And help never came because they didn't respect Quickly's 2-point game. They were just like, okay, we're going to play you straight up. And what that led to was a lot of possessions of over dribbling, a lot of possessions that ended in Quickly shots. And Quickly had to come up with a way to force the defense to respect him. He had to come up with a way to have something in his arsenal that the defense had to start taking away. You see it with Brunson all the time. They don't like him taking those mid-range shots. And the only reason Brunson still gets to his spots is because he's so skilled. Well, if Quickly keeps being this dominant from, the rim to 10 to 15 feet, they're going to start hedging, and his passing is going to come back. We already saw it a little bit tonight. He was probe dribbling, looking for his spot like Brunson does within 10 feet. Grimes got back-to-back open threes off of it because defenders stopped letting him just get those shots up whenever they wanted. They started digging down and Quickly immediately exploited it. And that's so huge for him because he's not a natural athlete. He's not RJ Barrett. Like he doesn't have the RJ Barrett size. He doesn't have the RJ Barrett rim pressure, which is just a natural dig forcer. Like RJ Barrett forces those collapses every time because of his size and his ability to get to the rim. Quickly's not that. He doesn't have that natural rim ability. So he had to create something that forces those digs, and he did it. He did it in a season as a 23-year-old. That's fucking insane. It's fucking insane that a guy who was supposed to be just a 3-point shooter basically said, oh shit, nobody's helping. I'm not forcing any help. I need to create a new part of my game to force that help. And he did it. What a remarkable player. Like seriously, what a remarkable player. Can't say enough about this guy and what he is able to do at such a limited skill set. We haven't even said it. He wasn't great in the third quarter, but that first half was a defensive masterclass on Kevin Porter Jr. Absolute masterclass. Porter Jr. couldn't get to his spots the entire half. He was amazing defensively. He had one turnover that was a travel. It wasn't even a live ball turnover. One turnover the whole game. He leads the team in turnover percentage. Like, How can Emmanuel Quickly lead the team in turnover percentage? He's like our most willing passer. I'm sorry I'm going on forever when I said I wasn't going to go on forever, but this guy is amazing. He's just a remarkable player. Remarkable. It's not even about this game. It's just like a culmination of how good he's been all season.
Yeah. He is also the 4th player this year on the Knicks to drop 40. That is back-to-back years where the Knicks have 4 different players drop 40. So
Knicks had 5 last year. So
they had 5? Who was the
Kemba.
Who were the who was
Julius, RJ, Fournier, Kemba, Obi.
Obi dropped 40 last year?
Yeah, last game.
I thought he dropped like 38 or something.
That was Quickly who dropped 38.
Jeff, you're muted.
I said we don't have to talk about Obi tonight. I mean, at least he found something in this. Let's hope. If Tibbs is going to keep playing him, let's hope he found something in that second half, because boy was he awful in that first half.
Yeah, those first half minutes were rough.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
He was good tonight, though.
I feel like everyone's just like lost their synergy with him too. Like,
I think
no one like knows where to find him.
What do you mean lost their synergy with him? RJ made one of the most selfless plays of the game on that fast break, and he just dropped the ball.
Wait, which
one?
I
agree with you to some degree, but
I was talking more so when Deuce threw that lob, like he overthrew it to him.
I agree with you somewhat, but it's not all or nothing. Like, some of it's on Obi.
Of course.
Me and you. I'm sorry, Tyrese. I'm not gonna lump you in with us because I know you don't want to be lumped in with us. Me and you, Sam, have been probably 2 of the most sympathetic Obi defenders in the Knicks fan base. Like, this has been a stupid situation, and he has excuses, but at some point it's on him too. At some point, he did it last season. We saw him take a shitty role and be impactful last season. So, like, yes, this sucks. And for him, it doesn't suck that Julius Randle's been an all-NBA player. That's really good for the Knicks. But for him specifically, this is not a fun situation. But, like, it's on him too, man. Like, and that's all I want to say about it.
I think his confidence gets shot a lot now, more so than last year. Last year he kind of just like played through it, and he was still like good vibes, and like, you know, he still had the synergy with Quickly, but like everything seems to be like just like completely shot down now. And I feel like they just don't utilize him in the most positive ways that they utilized him last year. This year he's become way more of a spot up shooter. And he's okay at it, but it's just like, you know, it's not really his optimal role. But, you know, hopefully, you know, tonight was the start of some type of rhythm going forward. You know, if they're going to keep using him in the playoffs, you know, you want him to have some sort of offensive rhythm. But yeah. Yeah. So, wow, he had 40 last year. Oh, yeah, he did have 42 at the last game.
Yeah, he had 42.
5 Knicks last year, 4 Knicks this year with 40. Weird team. This team is weird as hell.
I need Josh Hart to start pulling his fucking weight.
Team is weird as hell. All right, let's go through the box score. We talked about Quickly a bunch, and we'll continue to talk about Quickly, but let's go through the box score. Looking at what other Knicks were pretty great tonight. Oh, it looks like Mitch saw your tweets, by the way, Jeff, because like he completely
that was an unbelievable third. That was an unbelievable third quarter. Great call by you. That was, I mean, look, I'm not going to talk about Randle too much either tonight. Obviously, he wasn't like on Obi's level. I didn't love his performance tonight, but whatever. Mitch, so in the first half, only Quickly played defense, really. I thought RJ's defense was okay in the second quarter. He had one stretch that was really good. But Randle was like not into it at all. And Grimes was like weirdly bad at the point of attack. And Mitch is supposed to cover for those mistakes, and he just wasn't there at all. And like, I know the Rockets have guys who can get to the basket and yada yada, but like that is Mitch's job on the court, and he wasn't doing his job. And then something got into him at halftime. I mean, I'm not going to take credit for it, but
you can.
That third quarter was remarkable.
Sponsored by Balco.
The same mistakes were being made, and he was just everywhere.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. That will be in heavy rotation tonight. Yeah, like that first quarter was atrocious. Like that first half was atrocious. He was just lost. I feel like Sengun was really giving him the business. He had like that one drop step where like Mitch unexpectedly fouled him when he got to the basket and like had a layup and was about to finish the layup, and then Mitch like fouls him. I didn't understand that. It was weird. But in that third quarter, he kind of was just like, oh, I'm Mitchell Robinson, and he does the Rockets. And he played like that. So it was good to see from him. He was just like, he was weirdly just kind of like chilling. I don't know. I feel like the entire team was kind of just like, this is the Rockets. We'll beat the Rockets. And to an extent, they were right. But like, they definitely, I feel like the kid came out with more energy in the first half. But I mean, you'll take it. Ultimately speaking, you'll take it. So
Yeah. All right. Jeff said he doesn't want to talk about Julius Randle tonight.
I don't want to talk about Julius Randle so bad. That shit sucked.
I just thought, I do want to say the
talk
thing
about
I
Julius
said.
Randle
I
then.
do want to say the thing I said to you guys on the pregame. If anybody here is into rewatching games or whatever, just is interested in rewatching a play, just go rewatch the first play of the third quarter. That's all I'll say. Because
so bad.
Because we created a good play to Julius in the corner, and he had both a catch and shoot three and a swing to Grimes available to him. It's the type of thing. It's like, oh my God, it's basic level NBA basketball, and he just jab stepped into oblivion and then settled for a step back contested three. And look, this shit doesn't matter against the Rockets. We need him to make those swing passes against teams that are locked in defensively. That's the difference between like good and great offense. That you just can't miss those passes. And then, like, if it sounds like I'm being nitpicky or if it sounds like I'm just like, he misses these swing passes all the time, and it just drives me absolutely insane. It just really does. And like, I can't say enough. I hate that I have to proceed every time I sort of criticize Julius with this. I was dead wrong. I'll take the L, and I'm loving rooting for Julius, and I'm happy to say I was wrong. All NBA player, fucking amazing season. He's been great this season. I'm eating the L. I'm happy to do it. But he needs to get better in that area. Those swing passes are going to, I promise you, somebody in this chat who's watching is going to say, Frank Barrett fucking pointed that out in the playoffs if he doesn't make those passes. Because the ball swings to him, we create an advantage, the ball swings to him, and he just stops the play. And it cedes our advantage, and it lets the defense reset. The fucking Rockets defense was able to reset. Like, if you're letting the Rockets reset against you late in the shot clock, just better defenses are going to do even better. And that's all I'll say, because great win, and he's had a great season. But that was just very frustrating play in a very frustrating game.
Like, you could tell that Julius has kind of just been, like, coasting the last, I want to say, like, since the Boston game. I think he's just been realistically, like, kind of coasting. And I wonder if part of it's just, like, he's trying to, like, preserve himself because he knows that, ultimately speaking, last, like, 2 years ago, you know what happened in the playoffs when, like, he was just done at the end of it and he was completely gassed. So I wonder if part of it is, like, he's trying to, like, preserve himself within his minutes in order to, like, make sure he's at least not more well-rested, but, like, better conditioned for the playoffs. But at the same time, it's, like, the lack of rotations, the kind of just general lollygagging and nonchalantness attitude, combined with, like, the recent explosions that we've seen. He was better tonight, which is good, but also they were playing the Rockets. I would hope he would be better. So
Low bar.
yeah, exactly. So, like, what I'm hoping is, I don't know. I just, it's been bad. I think it will be better for the playoffs. I do think that them having that week off and to, like, them being, like, film junkies will help. But, like, I do want to see more effort. I think the Heat game will be the biggest
Test.
That would be the biggest test for him, because that's probably the most important game of the season.
But it's true. He's gonna. I don't know if he'll give, like, I don't know how the energy will be directed. But after his run-in with Butler, like, it's a meme now. Butler was making fun of him in that game.
Yeah.
He's gonna get up for that game.
Yeah, I expect that much. Like, I think he'll have a good game, but I also want to see, like, the defensive bit. Because if you're asking me, will he have a good game offensively? Yeah, I think so. Like, he'll give you, like, his regular points. I think it'll be a question of, like, is he going to give you the effort defensively that he gave even that first game, where, like, Jimmy Butler didn't do anything that game because Jimmy Butler was just, like, out of it. And even in the second game, like, Bam Adebayo was, like, a non-factor. So I would like to see him get up. I would like to see the entire team get up defensively for that game. That'll be a very important game and a very important test. Because, like, if you win that game, 5th seed is basically yours. Like, you have to win, like, what? I think one more game. And ultimately speaking, then, like, you're fine. So, especially if the Raptors beat the Heat. Because they have a back-to-back and they're not resting. There's no way they're resting because you still have the 5th play. You have the 5th seed in play. So there's no way you're resting that game. So you're going to have them go from Canada to New York on a back-to-back. So we'll see what happens. I am cautiously optimistic.
Tyrese, do you think that it was weird that Breen said it on the broadcast tonight, but he talked about quickly saying, boy, I didn't realize how much I needed those 3 nights off. Do you think at a certain point it's for the good of the team for somebody to say, like, hey, Julius, we're going to give you – we won't ruin your 82 of 82 games played, but, like, we have to give you a game off?
I mean, like, they're never going to do it because they don't do that. Like, I think
it doesn't seem like this team's culture.
Yeah, like the Knicks culture is basically we're going to play
– around, but
yeah, not Heat culture, but it's something. Yeah, like – the Knicks, like, first of all 82 is probably important to him, especially because that bolsters his All-NBA case. I think once they get the 5th seed, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Julius do, like, I'm not playing the second half kind of games. Where it's like, okay, I'll go off for, like, 18 minutes, and then afterwards I'm going to, like, not play the second half because those games don't matter at that point. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of the plan, but, like, you got to get there first. I'm very interested to see what happens because remember, like, even in the We Hear You, like, they got the 4th seed the last game of the season, and that game went to overtime. So, like, if they're able to lock up the 5th seed with, like, 3 games more remaining, I want to see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about RJ Barrett.
Finally, Jesus Christ! Oh my God! Oh, I've waited so long, and just every time I get off the bandwagon, every time I'm just like trade this guy for John Collins and protect the second.
John Collins is insane, by the way.
I know, man. I was just thinking of like, what's the worst contract I can think of that I would probably take back in the deal. It was nasty. Oh. I'm sorry, I was in a dark place. the place that Aaron Rodgers was when he was like deciding he wanted to go to the Jets, I was right there. But like
Aaron Rodgers was.
But this was a good game. He like played within himself. He didn't do too much. He hit a 3. He hit a 3.
Off a beautiful pass from Emmanuel quickly, by the way.
I'm so glad he didn't fuck with that dive, by the way. I was like, come on, dude. Like,
nice little live dribble over the head pass.
I know, dude, it was beautiful. But like he did stuff defensively and he was good at the rim. And you just
drawing fouls and
just do this every game. Just do this every game. It's such a low bar. It's such a low bar to clear for him. It's like you are 6'6", 6'7", and like you can get to the rim at will. You should not be struggling with consistency as much as you do, especially when you're getting the easiest shot in basketball. But yeah, like this was a good game for him. I hope he builds off of it. I hope he makes me look stupid. I want to eat the L. That's the thing. Like, I want to be wrong. I'm not saying this to be like, oh my God. Like, yeah, like being right. I'd rather be wrong. So if he could do this more consistently, I will be very pleased and I will gladly look like a fool for it. I'm okay with that. But great game.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. Just a great game.
I just want to say y'all brought up the quickly pass to RJ. RJ actually got quickly started from beyond the arc with a really, really nice skip pass. It was really weird too because he skipped it behind him. I've never actually seen anything like it. So he did his usual thing where he goes left and he kind of weaves around the guy and gets to the baseline. And the Knicks were overloaded on the strong side and quickly relocated to the side that RJ had driven from. And RJ like leaped in the air and threw the pass behind him, like knew where Quickly was relocating to. And that was the first 3 that Quickly made on the game. And I thought it was obviously a really good relocation by Quickly, but it was just really good awareness from RJ on that drive. Yeah, that's all I have to. I mean, I have a lot to say about RJ, but I want Sam to go first. I feel like I've talked too much already.
Yeah. I mean, RJ. I mean, Tyrese kind of pretty much said what I wanted to say. In terms of played within himself. We're always gonna say we hope that he's able to build upon this, and then the next game he comes out and it's just like looks like the Orlando Magic game, or it looks like another game. But yeah, I mean, I haven't had much to say about RJ all year, to be honest, because it's just like he hasn't given me much to say. Like, I could complain like everyone else. I could take it to the extreme like everyone else. I could, be like, shielding him from everyone like everyone else. Like, for me, it's just like, man, just do your job. Like, do your job and like do it well, or do it good enough to the point where we won't complain about it. But like, the team is so talented, it really hasn't shaken things up that much. Where like, I feel like if he was more consistent, like that just elevates the ceiling of the team that much more. But like, it really hasn't done anything too detrimental to this team, because the team is just not to the point where
like them on-off stats are trash.
If I told you before the season that RJ was going to be this inconsistent, you probably would think that we would have a worse record than we do right now.
I mean, fair.
That's true. But
exactly.
Tyrese's point is true too. Since the All-Star break, everybody, like, we all agree RJ has been better since the All-Star break. Since the All-Star break, not including this game, the Knicks are 15 points per 100 possessions better when RJ doesn't play.
Like, dude, it's bad.
It's
like,
bad. It's
like,
bad.
But like when you watch the team though, and like when you see like all the other numbers of like the team's offensive rating, all this other stuff, it's like, you wouldn't, like, if I told you before the season, like, we would have all these, like, the Knicks would be like this in net rating, this in offensive rating, this in defensive rating, and RJ was playing like this, you'd be like, how? Like, you'd be like,
because
how? Like,
they have 2 All-Stars and they have the 6 man.
But like, no one expected Julius to be this level. No one expected Jalen Brunson to be this level. Except for Tyrese. Sorry.
Here's what I'll say, Sam. This is the only pushback I'll give. I actually think the fact that the Knicks are good is the only reason it is a topic of conversation. Like, if the Knicks sucked and RJ was struggling like this, I think we'd all be like, okay, we're a lottery team and our 22-year-old is hitting lumps and bruises. I think the fact that the Knicks legitimately have equity in the first round of the playoffs, and there's an argument that like our best lineups don't include RJ Barrett, makes it more of a conversation. Because right, I mean,
yeah, I get what you're
saying. We're not having those conversations tonight, Tyrese. He was good tonight. So
I know.
But yeah, so I guess that's the pushback I give there is I agree with you. If somebody told you before the season that RJ would have a shaky season and we'd be this good, nobody would have believed you. That's very positive and very encouraging. But at the same time, like the fact that, okay, we're here now. We are this good. And the Knicks are getting this from Julius Randle. They are getting this from Jalen Brunson. They are getting this from Emmanuel Quickley and Mitchell Robinson. Do we need to talk about the fact that RJ Barrett is basically guaranteed, 25, 30 minutes a game? We're not going to have that conversation tonight. I'm just saying I feel like the only reason – it wouldn't be a conversation if we were bad is what I'm saying. If we weren't giving RJ Barrett 30 minutes a game – and we were like the opposite of whatever our record is right now, 32 and 44 or whatever, that would be a serious fucking problem. And we'd all be so mad. But like, if now Tibbs was like, okay, RJ, you've had the whole season, but sorry, man, we're just better when Josh Hart and Emmanuel Quickley play. I'm going to cut back your minutes. Would Knicks fans really be, obviously some Knicks fans would. We know the ones who love RJ more than the Knicks, but like, would the majority of Knicks fans who love the team first, would they be, I don't know. I don't know is what I'll say.
For me, I'm all about I know like everyone loves the homegrown number 3 overall pick Wants him to play well. We all want him to play well, of course. But like, you also want the team to win.
Right.
And like, if playing Emmanuel quickly, Josh Hart, Quentin Grimes, all those guys over him in certain moments, like come playoff time, it's gonna be hard choices to make. If RJ Barrett isn't giving you something on the court, I think Thibs will be quick to pull him, and Thibs has been quick to pull him a lot more recently when he's not doing his thing. So fans are just gonna have to accept it if it comes with a W. So, but we won't get there. We won't talk about that tonight because, of course, he played well tonight. So we'll save those conversations for when they actually occur in the playoffs. But it is.
And I do think it's. I'm sorry, Sam, but I do think it's
Mm-hmm.
important to note that this is a two-sided conversation. Like we were just having the conversation from the Knicks side, but it is important to note that like we've basically artificially expedited RJ's process. Like people are like, I get people in my mentions all the time who are like, "Oh, you want us to be patient with a guy in his fourth year?" Being in your fourth year isn't the same if you're Jalen Brunson or if you're RJ Barrett. Like he's still a kid, and so I'm not excusing him. I'm not saying like, oh, he's still a lock to be good. I'm not saying there aren't concerns. There are, but like he's supposed to have bumps and bruises. That's what a 22-year-old is supposed to have. So again, not excusing him. I'm just saying there's two sides to this conversation, and I don't know. I feel like sometimes we can be a little easy on RJ, but sometimes I feel like we can really, really be hard on him because he was like a number 3 pick, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, getting drafted top 3, highest draft picks since Ewing, comes with some stark expectations. So there it is. All right, let's get into the ad read. Before we get into some comments, because we do got quite a bit of comments to get to. Where's the ad reads? All right, there we go. All right, NBA fans, it's time to bring the hoops action to the palm of your hands with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 and win $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, for a limited time, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay every day. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, opt in, and place a same-game parlay on any NBA game, and if it doesn't hit, you'll get a bonus bet back. Download the app now and sign up with code TBPN. New customers can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA with code TBPN. Minimum age and eligible restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right. We got a whole bunch of comments, so let's get into them. Let's see. Knicks tape says he's a little worried about the defense going into the playoffs, though. We're letting teams waltz into the paint and then wonder why we're giving up near 50% from 3. Yeah, it does seem like the team has just like decided to, I guess, coast on defense now. Because they have their moments when they can turn it on. Like, I mean, tonight is probably not the best example because it's like the Rockets or whatever, but like, example, Mitch wasn't really locked in the first half, and then the second half he was swatting everything. He's being a paint protector again. So I feel like this team, they just turn it on and off. Not really the best, I guess, mindset or attitude to really go into the playoffs with, but hopefully they really lock in, and Wednesday is the perfect night for them to actually lock in fully for a whole 48. Hopefully they actually do it because it's a really meaningful game and it's at home at MSG. Like, what better opportunity to display to not just your fans but the league, like, we're for real, like we're not a joke. So yeah. Tyrese, you're muted.
You're on mute, Tyrese.
My bad. That's quality production right there. I am worried about the defense a bit. I do think they're like turning it on in spurts, but like it was so crisp. I think just prior to the All-Star break, or actually, I think it was crisp when the rotation happened until Mitch got hurt, and then like when Mitch came back, he was good for a little bit, and then it's kind of like tapered off since I want to say the All-Star break. I think it started to taper off a bit. Even with the 9-game winning streak, like they were still losing a lot of they were wildly inconsistent on defense. I do think part of it is Julius not doing as much defensively. I think he's a big key to the defense because his ability to switch helps out a lot of people because now you can put him 1-4. I think Brunson being hobbled has hurt him a little bit. I think the team has just been really inconsistent defensively as a whole, and it's kind of hurting with their closeouts and such. I think the only two consistent pieces have been Grimes and IQ and Hart, but and I think Hart's been better as well. But I don't know, it kind of feels like the starters' defense has been whack, and then the bench unit comes in, and then they've been kind of whack. I think they'll find themselves before the playoffs start. I think that little stretch where you play the Pacers twice, and then we play the Pelicans and then the Wizards is a good way to kind of tune it up, especially if we're clinched by then. I think our match number is 4, so that's good. So we could be probably clinched by the end of this week if things go right. So, but yeah, I think they'll clean it up. I'm a bit nervous though. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit nervous.
Look, I said on the last post game that the Knicks ceiling assumes that Brunson and Randall are really good. 2 things about that. One, part of that is Randall being helpful on defense. He doesn't have to be great, but he just can't for this middle stretch of the season, since that OKC game to maybe the last 10 games, Randall has not been a sieve defensively. He's been fine. So just got to hope that comes back. But number 2, the Knicks ceiling assumes that Grimes is great at the point of attack. And so a night like tonight doesn't worry me as much because it was Grimes getting beat by Jalen Green. It wasn't Quickly was great on Kevin Porter Jr. Seriously, go rewatch that first half. Kevin Porter Jr. could not get within 10 feet of the basket. He just couldn't, except for the very last possession of the first half. Quickly was great. He slowed down a little bit in the third quarter when they started going head-to-head and KPJ was hitting shots. But Quickly was his normal great self. Grimes is either going to be good or he isn't, and a big part of this team is Quentin Grimes minimizing the team's errors because Tibbs has his rules. And look, he knows more about defense. He's forgotten more about defense than I'll ever know. So clearly there's a rhyme and a reason to his rules. And if the guy at the point of attack gets beat, you better fucking cover for him. And what we saw tonight was Grimes getting beat at the point of attack and Julius just refusing to scramble. And he had some of the worst closeouts you'll ever see. So those are the 2 main areas you really want to clean up. And I believe both will be cleaned up when Julius is more locked in and Grimes just had an off night defensively, at least in the first half. He was great in the second half. And I just don't think that's a big concern, the Grimes part of it, because we know we just know he's really good at the point of attack and he'll be there. He'll be ready for that Donovan Mitchell matchup. Donovan Mitchell might, or, I shouldn't jinx it. Sorry to the old school Knicks fans out there. Not assuming the 5 seed or the James Harden matchup if we get that too. But I'm not worried about Quentin Grimes 1 iota.
We're getting the 5th seed. I'm not really worried about that, honestly. It was fun to worry for a week. People were being weird, but they're getting the 5th seed. So,
Mano says he hopes you were trolling about the John Collins package on Twitter.
I'm always trolling.
No, Tyrese is not. He's using trolling as a shield for his actual thoughts that he...
No, I'm not trading for John Collins. I have shame. Now, Gordon Hayward, we could talk about it.
Jail, is this? Let me check. Is this true? He said they added shot attempt,
come
so he did not shoot 80%. Let me check this out. NBA is...
Yeah, they did. No, come on.
Devil is working hard tonight, man.
They really trying it, dude. Y'all not taking it from him. He's
I don't care. The stats still count.
You know what's funny about that is I saw he finished 14 for 17, and I was 100% sure he was 14 for 17 when he re-entered the game. And he missed that little fadeaway. Remember, before he got fouled, the possession before he got fouled, he probed in the paint and missed that, 10-footer. And so when I saw he still finished 14 for 17, I was like, they must have missed a shot. So I should have been more on that.
Oh, I'm so distraught now. They really don't want to see us win. It's crazy. Also, side note, we were rooting for the Chicago Bulls tonight because if they win, then we have I think a half game. Dallas has a half game over Chicago in the loss column, which means that we'll have the 11th pick. We're currently sitting the 11th pick right now, so we're back.
Aren't we, Tyrese? Aren't we rooting for Chicago to lose?
No, we want Chicago to win.
Why would we want that?
Chicago. If Chicago loses, they fall back. Wait. Yes.
No, we're rooting for it the other way.
Wait, what am I doing? I don't know. Never mind. Disregard. I am sleep deprived. Disregard.
So wait, to be clear, we want them to lose, right?
Yes, yeah. Go Clippers. Go Clippers.
Okay.
I need Kawhi Leonard to put on for the city. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh my God. My bad. Okay. Today's been a day.
Christopher Vieira says, Emmanuel quickly is him. Can we now demand that he's more involved on ball and offense? Even when JB comes back, we can be a more dynamic offense and use JB's off-ball skills too. Thomas, get on board. Hey, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. You're asking. I mean, we've always been demanding this type of stuff, so you're just preaching to the choir right here.
Yeah, and Brunson, in my opinion, has really amped up his off-ball game lately. He had a relocation on a Julius drive the last time he played. That was just so nice. And it's stuff like that you see when everybody does it. It has to be coaching. Like, I'm not saying the players themselves aren't high IQ, and it's not some part of them for accepting the coaching and for understanding the spots to utilize it. But when Grimes, quickly, Brunson, even RJ a little bit, when these guys are all moving in cohesion, almost like they're on a string, when they're all relocating to spots at really smart times, it's just, Tibbs and the assistant coaching staff have them prepared. And it's just, I think it's probably one of my biggest compliments I can give Tibbs this season. We're moving off the ball, setting more flare screens than we have in the two previous Tibbs seasons combined.
Like, I think the best example of that was the last Nets game where Brunson dropped 39. You watch that game and you're just like, I remember specifically there was like, I think Brunson had a drive, just like he drives, two guys broke, like it was Julius and Hart, and they like both swing to like the opposite corner at the same time, and it just like poetry in motion. Like when this team commits itself to ball movement and like moving their feet, like they look beautiful. It looks like, I don't want to say Spurs-esque, but like the ball movement they can generate just by like driving and kicking, like it's poetry, man. And like I want to see them get back to that because sometimes they don't move and it just looks dreadful.
Yep, it can definitely get stagnant. I feel like I could be wrong about this. I feel like it gets most stagnant when Brunson has the ball in his hands too. Because Randall is a less willing mover than Brunson is. So like Brunson's moving off of Randall more than Randall's moving off of Brunson. And I do feel like right now Randall and RJ have slightly better two-man chemistry than Brunson and RJ do. So like RJ can get a little bit stagnant, a little bit stationary off the ball, off of Brunson. So sometimes you'll see Brunson operating and Mitch, RJ, and Randall are just standing, and Grimes is kind of just moving around by himself, but there's no balance or anything. There's no rhyme or reason to it because if one person's moving, you're creating an imbalance somewhere. So yeah, I guess that's something to look out for going forward.
Definitely. All right, let's see what else we got here.
Loving the backwards IQ jerseys. Yes, this is the thing now. Backwards Quickland shirt. I'll talk to Zach.
All right. Jordan Bubs asked, "Do we think the Heat will rest their main guys tomorrow so they'll be ready on Wednesday because it is going to be a very physical, rugged game on Tuesday on TNT?" I don't know. I don't think
They're too
so.
close to the plan. Like they're fighting to stay out of the plan. I can't see that
Yeah,
happening.
they're not gonna rest nobody. Resting is for like those teams at the top, like the Bucks,
Yeah.
Celtics. Bucks and Celtics, they've rested their guys so that way they could be ready for our game. So, um,
Yeah, Miami's in a play-in as of now. So like they
yeah,
have a
they
chance.
can't afford to rest anybody. They playing against another team that's in the play-in right now. So like they're going to go to battle in that game. It's gonna be a
Especially
very
yeah.
nasty game too, by the way.
And that could be a potential matchup in the play-in. So like I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I do feel like, regardless, we're really likely to get another top-notch effort from Miami.
Of course.
Yes.
And that's
Sadly.
just makes that game very nerve-wracking. But like, especially if they're coming off a loss, because I don't know their tiebreaker situation with Brooklyn, but if they're coming off a loss with Toronto, they'll only be 2 up on Toronto, and so another loss to the Knicks makes that very, very suspect. I'll say.
I think they own the tiebreaker. I think they beat Miami twice. They beat them 3 times. Yeah, Brooklyn owns the tiebreaker. So it's a matter. Like they have to beat Brooklyn's record.
Can I say I'm really excited for the playoffs in general. Like, I know that's easy to say because the Knicks are going to be in it, hopefully, but I can't remember a time when it feels like the Bucks are kind of a little bit above the rest of the league, at least in reputation. But I don't remember a time when there was just this much parity. And it's not because like the league's crappy. Like there's really high quality basketball being played across the league all the time. And so I remember the 2014 first round, the Western Conference. 1 versus 8 was Spurs versus Mavericks. That went 7 games. 2 versus 7 was Thunder versus Grizzlies. That went 7 games. 3 versus 6 was Warriors versus Clippers. That went 7 games. And then 4 versus 5 was Rockets Blazers. That went 6 games and was a Dame walk-off. That's like the best first round I've ever seen in my entire life. And it was just like really balanced across the way. And 9 years later, I feel like we're in for another epic first round. And I'm just really excited to watch all the basketball. Like I just feel like all these days when there's 4 games on, it's just gonna be so fucking awesome.
Like the Denver match, like if the Lakers play Denver, that's gonna be a game to watch. I'm gonna be really excited for that game. And if Memphis plays Minnesota, I think Minnesota could actually win that game. So like,
and remember, Tyrese, that'll be a rematch of last year. That series went 6 last year.
Yeah, and they should have won that. Like Minnesota
That
should have won that
series went
series.
6, and it shouldn't have went 6 because like both teams were just trying to be more stupid than the other one.
That's a perfect way to describe it. One of the dumbest series ever played.
God, Memphis was
like literally there was a stretch where Chris Finch was just like sitting there scratching his ass, watching his team just absolutely collapse for like 20 straight minutes, and I was just like, "What the hell is going on here?"
Oh, man, but it's going to be really good. I think I would love to see OKC make it, just like as a fan. Like I would love to see that happen.
Let SGA finally get his moment,
especially against that Denver defense. Like he might have that Ja series that Ja had like 2 years ago, and I think he played against I forget what team he played against, but it was like I don't think it was Denver. I think it was the Jazz.
2 years ago.
Utah.
Yeah, Utah. Yeah, and like he just went off every game. I think SGA might have a series like that where like he might push that game to 6. Like he might push that series to 6 alone. But like Sacramento, Golden State, it would be really fun. Phoenix, Clippers will be really good. Like that's like if you're the Clippers or Phoenix, you're kind of like, okay, more so the Clippers. If Clippers lose first round, you're like, this is done. Like if you're the Clippers and you lose first round to Phoenix, you're just kind of like, okay, the season's over, and like this experiment's over. Like we lost, we can't win. I think Golden State still beats Sacramento.
That offense is something crazy though, and the
I
Warriors' defense does not travel. We don't know what's the situation with Wiggins. Kevon Looney's the only big. Like,
true, but like I don't think aside from Sabonis, I don't think Sacramento has bigs either.
I know, but just like dealing with like the paint defense, I guess, versus someone
True.
like De'Aaron Fox.
It's Draymond Green. I'm never gonna not trust Draymond Green in a playoff setting. Like I'm sorry, and it's Draymond Green and Steph Curry. If Wiggins comes back and he's like, I don't think Wiggins comes back, but like even still, I think that probably goes 7 either way. So
I just want to say 2 things about that series. One, the Sacramento crowds are going to be amazing. That's going to be
I can't wait.
That'll be the most lit series of the first round by far. And then the second thing is Zach Lowe said on his podcast that he was talking to Kings GM Monty McNair, and he said that basically they've already adopted, like in the locker room, they've already adopted a we're huge underdogs in the first round mentality. And everybody thinks that like the playoffs, the game slows down, and they're like, we're prepared to play faster. And they're like, you haven't seen nothing yet. So look, I'll believe it when I see it, but like, you don't
Famous
hear
last
that.
words.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. And I'm not saying that, all of a sudden, bet the Kings. I'm just saying, like, you don't hear a GM come out and say that stuff unless you're pretty confident, in my opinion. So,
Or
I mean,
they're your famous last words.
Or that, yes. I think it'd be, the Warriors are some of the most beautiful basketball you'll see. They're just every night, it's just a treasure to watch. And I'm a big believer in appreciating greatness while it's around. I think that there are a lot of people who are going to look back and be like, man, I spent so much time like debating and trashing like LeBron James when I could have just like found a way to enjoy how good he is. And this Warriors dynasty is a once in a lifetime experience. I'm not saying root for the Warriors, but I am saying like on some level, watch it, and like just the way they play team offense and play team defense is just, it's one of a kind. At the same time, it'll be hard to not root for the Kings because, man, 15 or however many years it's been, 20 years almost. Their crowds are going to be amazing. They've got some really fun young players. That would be a really, really exciting series.
Yep.
Jordan Bubb says Emmanuel Quickly joins Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Nikola Jokic as the only players to have 4 games with 40 points, 9+ assists, and 1 or less turnover this season.
Cherry
Future
picking.
superstar Emmanuel Quickly.
But we like cherry picking.
I need you guys to correct me on this. So I was talking earlier on this post game about how quickly his turnover percentage is so low. Doesn't it also seem like none of his turnovers are ever live ball turnovers? It's always like traveling or a carry. He does not turn the ball over in play ever.
Yeah. Like I wonder if there's a way to filter out like live ball turnovers versus non-live ball turnovers. Because I feel like if you filter those out, he'd probably be at like 6% turnover rate, like 5. Like you're talking like 4, maybe 5 to 1 turnover ratio. If you like filter those out, like it's insane how good he is with the ball. And like passing was always like his quote unquote weakness, but I don't know what people have watched the last like year and a half because he is a legitimately fantastic passer. Like it's Brunson-esque in the way that like he can make the fancy passes, but like it's gonna be a lot more functional. It's okay, I'm going to snake this pick and roll and then like dump it off to the big, or I'm gonna like hit this hook pass over to the corner, or I'm gonna like probe the paint and then like hit the big for a lob. It's like it's point guard passing. It's just not the fancy LaMelo Halliburton passing. I think people kind of like act like he's not passing open, but like he's actively passing guys open. I think my favorite thing to look at is like the Ringers 2020 draft guide, and it was like Emmanuel Quickly pluses: great defender, great shooter off the bounce, great free throw shooter, can draw contact. His weaknesses: small and not a good passer. And now it's like, well, he has his wingspan. He can still play bigger than he actually is, and now he can pass with like some of the like the more functional passers in the league. So like he has just grown so much so quickly, and it's like him and Brunson are just really good success stories for this franchise.
And, you know, a lot of people like to talk about how, oh, well, offensive rebounding is a part of offensive efficiency. Like, if you're going to talk about, you know, the weaknesses of a stagnant offense, you have to talk about the strengths of it too, because you turn it over less and you get more offensive rebounds. Well, an individual player not turning it over is a part of individual efficiency. And that goes criminally under discussed. And it's one of the reasons Chris Paul is one of the more underrated players, because nobody talks about the fact that this guy has for almost 20 years been a hub and been an elite point guard creator, one of the best passers of his generation, and he never turns it over, ever. It's unbelievable what that guy's done for his career. And I'm not saying Quickly's Chris Paul, he obviously isn't, but his turnover percentage in that role is, he's putting up Chris Paul rates as far as turning the ball goes. As far as turning the ball over goes, it's just crazy, and that's part of efficiency. It's extra possessions for your offense. He's just, I can't say enough about the guy.
All right. Larry Israel brings up, these are 2 games in a row with the Knicks having rest advantage. I feel like we haven't had a lot of those this year. Is that, would you guys say that? I feel like we haven't had the rest advantage for.
Our first rest advantage was like, I think, against Toronto. And it was like later in the season. It was in 2023. That was our first rest advantage of the season. I think it might have been that game at the game. It might have been that game at the Garden, the last one.
Larry Israel also brings up Miami will be 6 even if the Nets have a better record because division winner.
They have to have a better record. Nope, because the Nets have the tiebreaker. It's head-to-head tiebreaker. That's always going to be
no, Tyrese. I think what Larry's saying is, I think Larry's right. I think it's an NBA rule. Oh, okay. Larry just said he was wrong. No, it's just I got a text from a friend earlier today that he said the same thing, that if you get a top 6 seed, if you win your division, you're guaranteed a top 6 seed. So
no,
I guess my friend was wrong.
They took that out because I remember that there was a time at one point where like division winners would be like have higher seeds, and that was horrible. God, it was bad. But like, yeah, they changed that rule a few years back. So the Nets have the tiebreaker, and if they have the better record, they win. So the Heat need to finish above the Nets, which is why that game was huge. Was why they won't rest anybody now. It changed in 2016. Yep.
Okay.
Thank God.
I thought it used to be that you got a top 4 seed in 2016, but I guess I was wrong.
It was something like that. You got.
It was, the reason why it kind of got like overturned was because, you know, the whole Clippers versus Spurs first round series that everyone just thought shouldn't have happened that year, because like that should have been probably a second round matchup or even a conference finals matchup. That one where Chris Paul hits that ridiculous game winner. Everyone thought
that was 2006, 15, yeah.
Yeah, so like they changed that rule because of that series. A lot of people just thought that shouldn't have happened. Like it ends up being those weird years where, you know, really good teams end up meeting in the first round when they probably should have met in the conference finals. But yeah, I'm glad they changed that rule because it's very stupid. Hawkeye 420 says Tyrese has wanted RJ traded for the husk of Kyle Lowry. He also says that you also wanted RJ traded for one of the Jokic brothers.
All right. Okay, I have to go down my list. Buddy Hield.
All right.
Gordon Hayward.
All right.
John Collins was fake, but we could throw him in there.
Fake.
Russell Westbrook.
All right.
I'm joking.
Joking.
All right, I'm not trading him for Russell Westbrook. Relax. That would have been wild. That's below even for me. I can't even go that far. I'll probably come up with some others. I don't know.
Oh my God. All right, this is a good question from NLF. Where does Quick rank among guys like Maxey Simon's hero pool? etc. I guess like those type of like.
Yeah. Okay. First of all,
He's-
Simons is at the bottom. Simons at the bottom of the list. It's like, don't even put
What
Simons in the
Simons do to you?
conversation.
How
Piss me off. Like,
quickly is better than all those players.
Yeah, easily.
yeah.
Also, like, what
Yeah.
did Simons do to Tyrese and his family? Like that was like really like like that was like
I
you just
really-
jumped right to the front of the line to like slander Simons right now.
Yeah, like Anthony Simons is a good story, but like that man is not on that.
He got the contract off for like 33 games last year.
Wild.
I mean, hey, get the bag, but like,
yeah, I'm not gonna get mad at
So
people getting
Tyrese, I'm curious. I'm curious, Tyrese. You seemed a bit hesitant there. Who on the list do you think? Who on the list is even close to quickly? Hero, I guess.
Yeah, I think Hero's probably the only one, but like the fact that Quickly is like the best defender on this list, and the fact that like if Quickly got the minutes that like Hero and Poole did, that he'd probably be a comparable scorer. Kind of puts him
or
above
even
that for me.
Maxey, like all these guys get like great minutes.
Yeah, like Maxey. I remember the funniest stat was like Maxey played more minutes his like last year than I think Quickly did in his entire career. Like it was insane. And now that Quickly actually gets to play games, then now he's like, oh, it turns out he's really good and is gonna win Sixth Man of the Year. Which is a good thing. Take that, man. Take that, Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, and that boy about to cash that bet for me. Hell yeah.
What were the odds you got it at? Was it like
plus 4,200? I put 15 on it to get 675. So
that's a good cash out. But
this is bullshit. You're gonna win more than me, and I got it at plus 10,000.
How much did you put on it?
Just $5.
Oh, you coward!
Yeah, if it was at less than, if I caught it at that odds, I probably would have maybe put 10 instead.
Yeah.
But like since I got it at 4,200, I was like, let me put the whole 15 on it.
I guess I shouldn't be talking about this on live air. Whatever. Who cares? No one's. I live in a state that bangs out loud, so I bet I bet with friends.
Okay, I understand.
Must be nice.
Yeah. So, it's just every
We're about
once
to
in a
come
while.
barging through Jeff's door right now as we speak.
Yeah, they're gonna come and get me. But yeah, it was crazy. I sent a text to my friend at like 1 a.m. and I was like, it was this paragraph. He must think I'm insane, but it was such a long text message, and I was just like, okay, here are all the reasons Emmanuel Quickly is already the best sixth man in the league. I don't understand why he's plus 10,000. I was like, he's just gonna win. And obviously I was like believing with my heart a little bit, but if I don't know if there's anybody who follows who is ever on that I Hate Sean's guys post-game space. He used to do like a Knicks on one thing. There is a saved rant from me when he was plus 10,000. I literally told every single one of those people, I was like, I'm looking at it right now. If you're able to bet it, go bet it. There's like a minute rant of me telling like however many people are in that space, 100, 200, couple hundred people, where I was just like, everybody should go bet this. He's going to win. And this was 8 days before the Celtics game. And by the Celtics game, he was like after the Celtics game, he was like close to a flip.
He was like, I think the Celtics game pushed him to like minus 120 at one point.
Yeah, if I recall, I'll have to look at it right now. But if you look at the games before that, like it's so crazy. Like literally from the second I said, everybody go bet this when it was plus 10,000, the trajectory, it just kept going down. I have to like find it now because this is okay. So the Boston game was, yeah, there it is. So he played 55 minutes. So yeah, the 4 games before that, he was just like plus $1 million. There it is. 13, 7-2, 23, 3-2, 15, 3-2, 21, 3-2, 38, 8-7, like all on good efficiency. He didn't shoot under 50% in any one of those games. And it was just like, whew. It was a really satisfying thing to, follow.
Like last month, he was at like, I don't know how reliable the site is, but like it was saying that he's like plus 1,800 essentially. And like the fact he went from that, and then 2 weeks later, he was plus 2,400, and then by the 5th of March, he was minus 130. So like, in like essentially what 2 weeks, he just lapped the field.
Yep.
I have
One
the
of the
NBA
one of the crazier
awards.
like rises you'll see.
I have the NBA awards vote tracker open in one of my tabs. It has not been updated for this year yet, but I will be tracking Emmanuel Quickly's votes as people, start releasing their ballots and shit like that. It's always fun to see like how these awards get, tracked and stuff like that. You get a chance to see who's like the early, like who's gonna get MVP. Like I remember, I forgot what year it was, but like I think it was like the first year that Giannis won. I was just like tracking it so heavy to see if he'd actually win. But yeah, it's gonna be fun to see all these Emmanuel Quickly votes pile up in this Google sheet. Feeling confident there. All right, let's see what other comments we got here. People are making or shocked at the on-off stat that you guys brought up earlier about RJ. David Goodman says that is the on-off is because of his defense and lack of effort to get 50-50 balls. I feel like there are other reasons as well to that. The rebounding, the inconsistency in the offense, stuff like that as well will definitely tank the on-off as well. So
Yeah, I mean, I'll pass this over to Tyrese because I feel like he feels stronger about it, but he just hasn't impacted winning. He just hasn't. He did that last season. Like, I'll be honest. Like, if you look at the on-off stuff throughout his career, it hasn't been great all 4 seasons, but it's more encouraging the first 3 seasons. And even though the team was worse last season, it's not close to what he's a ridiculous outlier on this team. Like, he's the only player in the rotation, and that includes Obi Toppin, who the Knicks lose his minutes. The only one. And then where it really hurts is the off minutes. Since the All-Star break, to go back to that, the Knicks are winning by 13 points per 100 when RJ doesn't play. That would be like the best team in NBA history. So of course there's like some noise to that, but the truth of the matter is like he just hasn't impacted winning, especially to the level that his primary replacements, Emmanuel Quickly and Josh Hart, have. That's just a fact. And I'll send it over to you, Tyrese.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just summed it up honestly better than I could. It just feels like that conversation, that clip that went viral where like Schwinn and Perez were like, he's putting up these stats. Like, it's real. The stats that he's putting up, like, it's not just the scoring, it's the fact that like the passing has been mediocre. He's been out of shape. The defense and effort isn't there. And I feel like those are the things you kind of could count on for RJ, where it's like, he'll give you good effort. He'll give you good rebounding. He'll give you solid defense most nights. The offense will come and go. And if the offense was coming and going, but he was still giving me those things, I'd be like, okay, I could live with that. Because ultimately speaking, like, if he was year 2 RJ Barrett, even if he didn't shoot 40% from 3, if he was like take his skill set now and just give year 2 RJ Barrett like conditioning, defense, rebounding, and such, that's a fine player. Like, that's a player that will be a positive rotation piece. Like, it's gonna hurt me to say this. That's Dylan Brooks. Like, essentially, that's Dylan Brooks. Like, and you'll live with that. So
really, would you?
Okay, if he was giving me like 50 true shooting, but giving me like plus defense and plus rebounding and like the ability to have like decent passing games, I'm okay with that. Like, that's fine. The problem was like he regressed defensively, and then the offense hasn't been enough to like really pick it up. Like, if you're going to be that level of bad on defense and as a passer and such, like, you need to be Jalen Brunson on offense.
Or you need to be like the way you were on offense to end last season.
Yeah, like he was shooting like 36% last season. So like, yeah, like you need to be that. But he hasn't been that, and it's been rough to say the least, and the numbers bear that out.
Walcott Frazier says he needs that Quicklin merch. We are working on it, I believe.
I think so. I'll check Discord.
Yeah, check check in with Discord and we'll see how that's rolling along. But the people do want that Quicklin merch. We should probably have that. I don't know. I would love to have it before playoffs, but we'll see how things roll around here.
Excellent.
H22 says, not gonna lie, if we play Cavs, I want Grimes closing over Hart since we've actually seen Grimes lock up Spider the last 2 times we played.
Honestly, if you're gonna play the Cavs, why is Obi in the rotation? Just play Deuce. I'm just kind of at this point, give me one of quickly Grimes Deuce on the floor at all times.
Yeah.
Because Obi Top, what is Obi Top gonna do against you're not using his size, you're not using him as a shooter. Just have Deuce play 7 minutes a night of hellacious defense and just go, you have 6 fouls, go use them. I would just rather him do that than have Obi Toppin out there. Give his backup minutes to Hart, and you can run a lineup of, let's say, a bench lineup of IQ, Deuce, RJ, Hart, and then Hartenstein. And just tell them, okay, you're just going to guard Darius Garland and just switch everything. Because they can't do anything to you anyway. They don't have the wings. Cleveland wings, the one team we have probably a decent matchup because they have no wings. Their wing is Karis LeVert and Lamar Stevens, and I doubt Lamar Stevens actually gets playoff minutes. So
they're gonna be running a short rotation.
They're probably gonna be running 8.
Don't they run 8 right now?
I'm pretty sure they are running 8 right now, but I think it's gonna be an 8 where if you told me that Donovan Mitchell played 42 minutes a night, they had 3 guys playing 40, 41 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised because that rotation is thin.
I mean, they play 9 now, but Lamar Stevens gets 10 minutes.
No, they play 8. They I mean,
their last game they played 9. I mean, that was them fully healthy.
Okoro went out early. Which is why.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah, so
it is about 8. Yeah.
In the most 30 minutes, so they essentially are an 8-man rotation. It's Ricky Rubio, Shaq, Karis LeVert. I don't think Lamar.
I don't know how that team is scaring Knicks fans.
Because their 4 best players are really good.
I've seen our player. I've seen what our guys can do to 2 of the, not even 2, 3 of their best players.
Yeah, I agree. I will say that if the Knicks close games with the main 3 starters and then, or excuse me, the main 4 starters plus Hart instead of Grimes, I don't like our chances in crunch time. I don't see how
especially if Hart's not going to shoot.
Yeah. I don't understand what a team that's 2 best players are guards as fast and as talented as Garland and Mitchell. I don't understand how you could close games without at least one of Grimes or Quickly on the court.
And the way Grimes' shooting has been trending as of late,
yeah,
you just want to keep that rhythm going, and yeah.
We didn't even talk about Grimes. Grimes had a great game.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, he really picked things up in the second half.
Yeah. His offense is currently coming along, and that's huge. His rebounding has been really good as well, and his passing. I think his passing is really popping for me.
2 steals.
Yeah, great point about the rebounding, Tyrese. We really need that too.
Yeah, he's doing superstar role stuff, and he's having a couple pull-up shooting attempts. He took that one mid-range shot, which he didn't make it, but I love him taking that shot because that shot's gonna be available for him all playoffs, and he needs to be able to at least threaten to take that shot. You need to try to siphon off usage whenever you can. If you hit your threes, have the ability to kind of pump fake, get to one dribble, do the Reggie Bullock 2-point mid-range. Whereas Reggie Bullock was frustrating as all hell, but he was able to sidestep, dribble, and then take that good 18-footer, which was somehow cash that season. Even if it was frustrating as all hell, But like if he's able to do that,
As long as
especially when he's
Grimes doesn't
passing,
travel on a fast break, I'm good.
yeah, we don't talk about that much. But yeah, like if he has that ability to have that one dribble pull up, like that's huge for this offense because that means that he legitimately has like equity as like a playmaker and as a driver. That shot opens up a ton for him. So I hope he's able to have it in the playoffs, and I hope he's able to maintain it as well. I think flirting with the idea of like giving Quickly and Grimes more usage can actually win the series for us. If you're just willing to like unlock those guys on ball, then like there's so many on ball threats that like it's gonna be hard for Cleveland to stop because somebody is gonna have it going.
Yeah. Jordan Bub says they were pushing me to get 40 and also trying to get that 10th assist. Just speaks to the great teammates I have. I don't take that for granted at all. Having great teammates. That is from Emmanuel Quickly. Yeah, you could tell. Like, I mean, I think that's probably like that's definitely the reason why they brought him back into the game. To get those stats up. Shout out to Thibs. Parlay respecter right there.
First team parlay respect.
I almost put in a bet for Emmanuel Quickly 30 plus points and 5 plus threes. I didn't put it in because I didn't like the odds.
What were the odds?
It was like plus 800. I was like, come on, like that should be a little bit more than that.
Yeah. Man,
Like, give me at least plus 1,000. Like
even Vegas knows starting Quickly is just generational.
Yeah, it's just like Vegas is like that's light. He'll get that, no problem. It's like really Vegas. Like, let me get some
21-5 on 60 true shooting when he starts. It's nuts. Like some team was gonna throw him 9 figures if we don't sign him. Oh,
yeah, Vegas is annoying for that. I wish the odds were a little bit better, but
I'm telling y'all, the thing.
My mind was in the right spot with the play.
The thing to bet is Julius under for rebounds because they've been cashing out. Like,
yeah, he hasn't been getting boards lately.
He doesn't try with bitches on the court. Yeah, like it's free money. Just take Julius unders. It's free money.
You say that now, and the next game against Miami, he's gonna have like 16 rebounds or some shit.
Okay, if he has 16 rebounds, he's gonna have rebounds to like keep his average above 10. Guarantee you.
He is very like trendy. There was a stretch there where DraftKings had his over-unders at like 11.5. And it still felt like okay, he's going over. Like he was just getting every rebound. It was the start of his like, okay, I've got to show I'm impactful. Like I can't. And he was. I mean, credit to him. Credit to Julius for not only turning the season around, but turning his Knicks career around. I hope he finishes this great season off with a really good playoff performance.
Just give me 6 good games. I don't even care if we win. Just give me 6 good games. That's all I need.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm kidding. I want to give me a win too, but like, I just want him to have a better series. Like, even if it's not great from 3, like if he could just like do what he does, just like finish your twos and get to the free throw line like 7 times a game and convert on those, like you're fine.
Yep. I do think that like he'll make Mobley's life hell. Can you imagine playing Julius Randle? Like having the Evan Mobley frame and playing Julius Randle for friggin' 6 games, like yikes. That's just like 7.
Man, this is sort of giving me like PTSD flashbacks of like when we were all saying that like Julius was gonna kill John Collins in the playoffs, and then like it just didn't happen, and then I just felt like so stupid because I was one of the main people on Twitter, because y'all know me on Twitter. I'm always talking shit.
No way.
I was one of the main people that was like going crazy, like John Collins ain't doing shit versus Julius Randle. And Julius Randle absolutely pooped himself in front of the whole fucking country. So I felt stupid as hell. So I will keep myself tame this round with the he will dominate this matchup talk this time.
He will be an all-star level player.
I will say Julius should take care of business versus Evan Mobley.
He will be a 20-point per game scorer. Now, efficiency, don't ask me. He will be a 20-point per game scorer.
Kevin Hart.
So
meme
we
just
were
hands up.
just talking about it. I'm not trying to change the subject here. We were just talking about it.
Mhm.
Vivek just posted in the Discord. By the way, this is why anybody who's watching who isn't a part of the Discord should be a part of it, so you can be in chats like these.
Patreon link is in the description.
Vivek just posted. So IQ has 86 turnovers this year in 75 games, which is already remarkable. Barely won a game. Of those 86 turnovers, 7 are charges, 4 are palming / carry, and 16 are travels. So 27 of his 86 turnovers are not live ball turnovers, which means he only has 59 live ball turnovers on the season. That's just absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yep. That's so. You said 57?
59.
59, and he's played how many games?
76 games.
Okay, so.
Oh no, he missed a game. 75 games. Sorry.
Okay, so 59 divided by 75. So 0.78 turnovers a game, essentially. Because a lot of those calls are bullshit anyway. So yes, like you're looking at like a 4, I think 5-1 turnover assist to turnover ratio. It's like I think he's averaging. I'll check. He's averaging 3.3. So 3.3 to 0.8. Four.
He's just a really good basketball player.
Yeah.
Point God.
It's crazy though, because I think the biggest compliment you can give to him is he just has all these different, like, I don't know what's like. I mean, you guys do like more, like know more about like video games and stuff. It's like he has more badges. He has all these badges. Like he has the turnover percentage of Chris Paul, but then like his off ball movement, and like if he ever shoots, like if he became just like a 38% 3-point shooter with his movement and like the way he manipulates screens, what are we talking about there? And then like we're talking about his mid range game now. He just can do his defense. He can just do everything. He's literally a plus with Brunson, a plus with Grimes, a plus with RJ, a plus with Randall, a plus with Mitch. Any combo, any position, he's just so good. It's just outrageous how good he already is, and he's just a really good basketball player, and he's gonna get paid a lot.
Yeah, and there's another like ceiling he could hit, which is like even crazier to think about. Like he has way more in the tank.
Definitely. I do want to address this comment before I guess we can talk about the Mavs just a little bit, because we do have their pick. And it is very interesting what is going on in Mavericks land. Walcott Frazier asked if you could replace RJ with a Knicks wing from the past 15 years and put him in our current rotation, who would it be?
Chris Copeland.
Not trying to start an RJ argument. Very interesting word right there. Just a thought experiment. So
Kurt
Knicks
Thomas.
Wing from, Kurt Thomas is not a Knicks wing, Tyrese. Jesus.
He was playing power forward.
Can we get a Knicks player but a non-Knicks version of him? Because I would take pre-ACL tear Gallo. That Nuggets year. The Nuggets year.
Okay.
The Nuggets year before he tore his ACL, when the Nuggets were trending up. First of all, legitimately a good defender on 3s and 4s, good shooter on the wing. Like that's like a taller, from an impact standpoint, it's like a taller, worse defending OG Anunoby, who would have been awesome in this 3 role. So that's my answer. And I'm sorry, I saw you just posted Knicks only. Gallo is one of my favorite Knicks of all time, so I'm sticking with Gallo, and I'm spiting your.
I mean, even Gallo in his last year in New York, he was pretty damn good too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the Nuggets. God, the Nuggets gave the Knicks the option to hold on to Gallo or Landry fucking Fields, and we chose Landry Fields.
Who became the Hawks GM, and look how he's doing such great things in Atlanta.
It's so frustrating, man. That team would have been so much fun with Gallo. Melo and Gallo, man. They would have been such an ideal combo. Like, just think about how basketball evolved. If we had Gallo in the 2010s.
Perfect 3-4 combo.
Yep.
Tyrese, what's your answer? Your actual answer, not freaking Kurt Thomas, who wasn't a wing, by the way.
Chris Copeland, dude.
Chris Copeland, wow.
I'm biased because I had a Chris Copeland fan page when I was 13 on Facebook. But
Chris Copeland fan page, wow.
Dude, I ran shit.
Right.
Had like 10K likes on Facebook. I was running these streets. It was me and Knicks memes. I gotta think about this. We haven't had like a lot of good wings. That's the problem. Like, our wings,
Yeah, I mean,
like,
isn't just the actual answer Melo? Like, that's the boring answer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
the
like,
boring answer. That's why I didn't want to say it, because it's like, all right, whatever, Melo. It's like past 15 years. I mean,
Chris Copeland might be a top 5 answer.
Wilson Chandler, like, who are the wings that like really were like good with us? Like Wilson Chandler, Gallo, Doug McDermott, Melo.
Man,
J.R. Smith, I guess, is technically a wing. Like,
yeah, this is like Shump.
Shump. Oh my god.
This is a really sad thought experiment.
Yeah, like, why'd you make us do this?
And by the way, with the Melo answer, like, obviously you take Melo just and hope the talent works itself out.
Yeah.
But Melo's best season by far came as a small ball 4. Sticking him with Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle with a true center. I mean, look, there are 3 really talented players. I'm not convinced it would work out super great as far as winning goes. Rookie Trevor Ariza is an interesting answer. I mean,
is that 15 years though? That feels like much further.
It was longer than 50. It was longer than 15 years ago. But
okay.
Yeah.
Man, this is so sad.
Yeah,
this is so sad. Oh my gosh.
Chris Copeland shot like 42% from 3.
This is so sad. Oh my god. It's a sad thought experiment.
I'm taking Gallo. Pre-trade Gallo in that 2010-2011 season.
Oh, man. All right. Let's talk about the Mavs a little bit. We have their pick. They have been reeling. They lost. I mean, they won today, but they lost the Hornets twice in 3 days. That's insane. I mean, we lost to the Hornets too, but like, them losing to them twice in 3 days, that's crazy. I mean, there's been talks about, Luka, his leadership, what's he going through off the court, et cetera, et cetera. There's been tons of discussions with, about Kyrie. I mean, there's like so many ways you can go. I mean, it just all comes down to this. The Mavericks gave up whatever depth they had on the defense and the wings, and they're suffering for it. Like, I mean, this goes back even further than just like giving up Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith. They keep Jalen Brunson, and a lot of these issues are all mitigated, honestly. But yeah, just like bad management on the Mavs part. Like, that's just all it comes down to. And yeah.
Like,
hopefully we can keep
I just love
pick.
the fact they figured out. Like, they figured out that they needed a third ball handler. They got the third ball handler, which is really a hedge. And then somehow they were like, we don't need 3. We're going to go back to having 2 ball handlers. And then they suffered for it. And now they still have 2 ball handlers. I guess maybe you could throw Jaden Hardy into that, but like, he's still a rookie, so I wouldn't trust him yet.
And it seems they use him more as like a spot up guy too.
He's doing more stuff off the dribble now because like they kind of have to let him do it. But man, it's horrible team building. Like, they are the worst ran franchise in the league right now. I don't think it's close.
If only they had a guy on their team who could like impact winning without touching the ball, like that would be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. If only, maybe a former lottery pick who hails from France, who leads the team in all the plus minus stuff, If only, like, maybe play him a little bit more. Dude, every time he plays, they just win his minutes. It's the most annoying thing ever. Like, I'm not even saying he's good. Not pushing that train. But if all the team does in a lost season when you're on the court is win, and you have Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, like just try it. Just try. Like, what did he do? I don't understand. They're playing Jaden Hardy and McKinley Wright over him. It's fucking absurd. I don't understand. Led the team in plus minus again tonight. Just play him 15 minutes a game. I'm just so sure that it won't hurt the team. It's like I just don't understand it. I don't get it. You have two generational initiators. You have Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic on the court for 48 minutes a night. Just surround them with guys who can play defense and do a little bit of shooting. I know he's not like a good shooter, but at least this is what I always said about him in the Elf season. Elf wouldn't even put the ball up. We were playing 4-on-5. Every time Elf was on the court, they didn't give a shit about him. And I promise you, there's this thing called functional spacing. I talk about it with Pascal Siakam all the time. When Pascal Siakam is a 5, if you look at the statistics, he's not a great catch and shoot shooter, or he wasn't before this season. I'm not sure how he's looking this season. But he is a willing shooter, and guys respect it by closing out on him because he's an NBA player who's willing to shoot threes. So whether he's a good shooter or not doesn't even really matter because he forces closeouts. That's what you need as from gravity standpoint. Elfrid Payton couldn't even do that. So like back to the Mavericks, just put guys who can play defense and are willing to shoot when they're open on the court. And they have someone whose minutes they win all the time when he's on the court. And it's like, I just don't get it. His career is the most baffling thing in the world to me, and I don't care if I sound like an idiot. Like I know he's not good. I know he's not good relative to his draft position. I get it, but like, it's like the conclusion was already drawn before any team was willing to be like, okay, like, yeah, we'll just give you consistent minutes. Like I don't care. The Knicks never gave that to him, and we don't have to rehash that, but.
I do think the Mavs issues are much greater than Frank Ntilikina's.
Nah, man, he did. They made the Western Conference Finals last year with him being like, the 7th most important player, so he must be great.
Man,
was he
Mavs.
Was he? I'm trying to think of their roster last year now. Was he even the 7th most important?
I think they just gave him spot minutes here and there.
Nah, man, that Sun series, like he was.
Sun series, he definitely got more run. I will say that.
Yeah, he was guarding Booker and Paul. There was some really good stretches. Whatever. Like I don't actually think I know he hasn't been good. I don't know. My heart. It's in my heart,
Oh man, but yeah, their pick. We have their pick. That is the main reason why we are invested in this. Other than just like wanting to laugh at the Mavericks. We do have their pick. It's going to be interesting how things shake up. We know Adam Silver hates us, so he will definitely make their pick jump, even to number 1 if that's like possible. But yeah, I mean, they have to make the play-in, right? Basically,
I didn't even consider that we're gonna have to fucking sweat the lottery.
Yeah.
Oh my. He's definitely
because they stink.
And he has a chance to simultaneously fuck over the Knicks and get Luka a co-star. It's not even a conversation. He's
gonna do it.
Okay,
they're gonna win the lottery. They're winning the lottery.
Yeah,
they're winning the lottery if they continue to stink for the rest of the year, which is a very high possibility. But yeah, they're gonna win the lottery. Any chance that Adam Silver gets to screw us over, he'll do it. And even though he claims
he's gonna Derrick Rose them.
Yeah, he's gonna Derrick Rose them. It's Adam Silver. It's so obvious. Like when the Lakers and the Pelicans jumped in that lottery, like he just does this stuff all the time. It's so obvious with him. He's gonna do it again.
I'd be pissed. I would be heated if they somehow jumped into top 4, dude.
It's gonna happen. Just like book it now. If there's a way to bet on like lottery like odds or whatever, or in like betting where teams end up, bet Mavericks to get top 4 right now.
I can't believe
we get 11 though. Oh.
I mean, it's not just Adam Silver. Obviously, David Stern was in on it too. It's just like the NBA.
Yeah, they don't like us. But like Adam Silver has like the gall to say he grew up a Knicks fan. Like, shut the fuck up, my nigga. Like, no, you weren't. Like, you just weren't. Like, there's no way you treat a team like this that you grew up loving, always rigging shit against them. Fuck out of here, loser. Hate him. But yeah, I mean, hopefully Knicks by some, miracle, the Mavericks make the play-in or the playoffs or whatever it is that they need to make, for us to retain our pick. But it is looking very shaky right now because, yeah.
Who would we be targeting in that range? Like, what are some names?
Tyrese, your school of
right.
expertise.
Taylor Hendricks would probably be the overwhelming favorite to be that pick. He is everything they want Obi Toppin to be. A legitimate rim protector, legitimate weak side rim protector who shoots threes at above around 40% on volume in the role that they want him to shoot him at. Solid rebounder. There's creation value in terms of like
Can he East Bay?
Yes.
All right, I am sold.
Oh no, he can't eat. No, he can't East Bay. But he can get close. He can get close. He can get close. Like he's a legitimate athlete. Like he can dunk. So he probably the overall favorite to be the pick. He's a freshman, but like he fits the role really, really well. Like you could tell him to take 5 corner threes and take maybe 2 shots at the rim, and he'd be like, okay, that's like what I did in college anyway. So he fits that, and he'd be making like chump change for the next 4 years, which is really good. I think Jordan Hawkins is probably in that.
That's another name I've heard a lot.
Yeah,
lately.
Jordan Hawkins has definitely like played himself into that like kind of class, just simply because like he's arguably the best shooter in the draft. I don't think he's the best shooter in the draft, but I think he's probably top 2. But if Grimes at IQ did a fusion dance, that would be Jordan Hawkins. Because he has the ability to get free throws, not to the level of IQ, but he does it at a really solid clip. He has pull-up shooting. He's a really rugged defender. If you're Prez, you'll say Bryce Sensabaugh. I don't think he goes 11.
What about Julian Strother?
I'm not touching him in the lottery. I'll touch him like top 20. Like,
whoa, well,
like, okay, relax. After the lottery, you can talk to me like 18 and below. You can talk to me. Pause. Whoa, not like that. After 18 to 30, you could.
Whoa.
You basically the pick Strother. Derek Whitehead is okay. Derek Whitehead is good. I wouldn't take him at 11. I would take him at like in that same range of like 18 to 30. Yeah, but like I think they probably end up taking Julius as backup, and I would probably take Hendricks if he was on the board, and I think he will be on the board. So.
And Obi becomes a pacer?
Obi becomes whatever you want.
I really hope that's where he goes. Just first of all, playing with Tyrese Halliburton would be so good for him. And apparently they can't trade Miles Turner. There must be a rule. And Miles Turner is like the perfect 5 to play with Obi Toppin. So, I just hope that's where he ends up. Because I do believe in him on
They
some
tried
level.
to trade Miles Turner, though, Jeff. They tried to trade him for like 7 to 8 years straight.
It's so crazy. They've been trying to trade him
and
forever.
then they extended him. They were like, fuck it. We can't trade him.
It's
so
crazy. Like, he's played well. Yeah, he's played well since they didn't trade him. I don't know. I've never been huge on Miles Turner, but like he's a good basketball player and he's a good rim protector for sure. So yeah, if they opened the season next year with like Halliburton, Mathurin, Buddy Hield, I guess, don't love it, but whatever. Buddy Hield, Obi, and Miles Turner. I believe that Obi could find a way to fit in and thrive on that team.
I think if Indiana gets Jarace Walker, I don't think Obi Toppin's starting. But I can see a world where like Obi Toppin is like their 7th man. Mm-hmm. And he gets like significant minutes out of it, especially minutes with Halliburton and with Turner. I would like to see him in Utah. I think Utah has like the personnel for him. Because they play they play Olynyk, they play Markkanen, and they have like surprisingly good point guard play, which is like surprising because they traded by Conley, but they still have like fucking THT giving them legitimate point guard reps and being good at it.
Weird as hell, by the way. Like
Bro,
he's been like a legit triple double threat some nights. It's just like, what the hell?
like he's just turned into the
And then
ugliest.
like Chris Dunn is like a double threat every night. Like now, like weird ass team. I swear.
Dude, Will Hardy is out here doing some dark magic in Utah.
Danny Ainge is like sacrificing lambs and shit in his backyard.
He's got goats tied up and hung upside down. Like, yeah. But yeah, like he would fit well in Utah as well because they have a lot of shooting in Utah. And they have like a lot of guys who just are play finishers. Like Lauri Markkanen is a play finisher. He's just really, really good at it. So I think that'd be a good role for Obi. And they play 5-out spacing. So yeah, I think Indiana or Obi, like Indiana, Utah are probably my 2 spots for Obi, and they both have 3 picks.
2 boring ass states. Oh my god.
We go 7 speed with the half.
Poor kid.
Man, you guys y'all are haters. I spent 3 years living in Indiana. It was like 3 of the best years of my life. Loved it there. Shout out to the state. Great state.
I just know him for being Cornhuskers. Or is that am I thinking the wrong state?
That's Nebraska. You don't even know that.
I confuse all the states that are boring.
That's so typical. Don't even get the state right. I lived in Hoboken too, across the water from New York. So I've gotten to experience all the lands. Good stuff.
JL says to Walt Clyde Frazier's thought experiment, he would replace RJ with Alec Burks.
Of course. Oh, why did I think of that? Oh, we forgot Alec Burks counted. Shout out to AD.
Tyrese, you were way too excited about that. Settle the fuck down, man. Alec Burks.
Dude, Alec Burks this season's been hooping. He's been like 13 points, like 60 shooting. It's dumb.
I mean, yeah, loved Alec Burks, but he also, me, you, and Sam debuted on this channel at the end of last season, and Alec Burks was, not to any fault of his own, but his existence was responsible for like half of our misery because every night we were like, can you just start Emmanuel quickly? I promise good things will happen. All 3 of us were just there. And
can we like send the tape of us saying this to Tom Thibodeau and like show him the date and like just be like, hey, you giant dumbass, like look at what you missed out on. Like, can we do that? Are we allowed to do that?
He was a consummate professional, and he was a plus on the court.
He was.
Alec Burks
agree.
Big money Burks.
100% agree.
Alec Burks, he won us that game in Orlando.
Big money
Burks
AB.
would have taken over in the 4th.
Bulls are down 15 in the 3rd, so that is good for us, I guess.
Shh, don't say shit. Don't say shit.
All right.
The game ends. Don't say anything.
All right. I won't jinx it. All right. I think we'll end here. It is about to hit midnight. We all enjoyed talking about this Emmanuel Quickley masterclass. Sadly, 50 wins is off the table now. It's been off the table for quite some time. But yeah, hopefully, the Knicks can secure the 5th seed. Make sure you guys check out every link in the description. We got links to the merch. Jeff is rocking it. I always have it on hand. Definitely check it out. We will definitely try to get you guys with an update on Quicklin merch for the next post game. So let you know what's going on with that. We got links to the site, Patreon, Twitter. We are also on Instagram at thestrick.land. Thank you, Knicks Tape. Oh my gosh. So make sure
while Sam is struggling for a second, if anybody is watching, likes movies, go see John Wick 4. Going to the movies is literally I've probably seen more movies in the theater than like any person in the world. Obviously that's not true, but that's an exaggeration. But I've seen a lot of movies in theater. John Wick 4 is probably the best action movie of the 21st century and deserves to be seen in the movie theater. Fucking awesome movie. So go see that.
I have not seen any of the John Wick movies, so
Watch
I
the
will
first
probably
three, so you can see the first four. So you can see four.
do a movie marathon soon, so that way I can catch up on all that and watch John Wick 4 and enjoy all of its greatness. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. We have just surpassed 700 subs, so shout out to all of y'all that have been watching and tuning in. Make sure y'all leave a like, make sure you subscribe. If y'all new, we are on our way to 1K subs, so all that you do definitely helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. All right, let's end things here. Everyone enjoy your Tuesday, and we will be back on Wednesday night to talk about the Knicks hopefully beating Miami and securing the 5th seed. Peace out.